In this lesson, we will learn how to change from rectangular equations to parametric equations. So we're going to start with linear functions. So let's say I'm given the equation y equals negative 2x minus 2. This is a rectangular equation where y is written in terms of x. Now to write this in a parametric equation, I can say let x equals t. Then y in this case would be negative 2t minus 2. And that could be a parametric equation. But then look again. Did you really change the rectangular equation? Doesn't this look exactly like this? So we didn't really do much. So even though this could be a parametric equation, I'm not going to take it. I'm going to try to write something better. So what if I say let t be equal to negative 2x? Then y is equal to t minus 2. Better. But remember, you need to write it in x in terms of t and y in terms of t. So if t is equal to negative 2x, that means that x is equal to negative 1 over 2t. So my parametric equation can be x equals negative 1 over 2t and y equals t minus 2. So that could be a parametric equation. Now let's take another example, another linear example. What if I have a description? For example, they give me 2 points, negative 1, 2, and 3, 8. What I can do is write a rectangular equation that contain those 2 points, and then I can change the rectangular to parametric. That could be one method, and that's the easiest method. So the first thing I want to do is write it in the form of y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. And that would be my point slope form. Okay, so let's start by finding the slope. So remember, the slope is y2 minus y1, so 8 minus 2, over x2 minus x1, so 3 minus negative 1. So that would give me 6 over 4, which simplifies to give me 3 over 2. So that's the slope. And now I need to choose one of the points to plug it in the equation. So it could be negative 1, 2, or 3, 8. I'm going to take 3, 8, not for any reason. So if you take the other one, it could be, it's correct as well. So 3 over 2 times x minus 3. So there you go. That's my rectangular equation. Now I need to change this into a parametric equation. So I can say let t equals x minus 3. So then y minus 8 is equal to 3 over 2t. So y is equal to 3 over 2t plus 8. And I need to solve for x in terms of t over here. So x is equal to t plus 3. So my parametric equation could be x equals t plus 3 and y equals 3 over 2t plus 8. I'm saying could be because there's more than one way to write a parametric equation if you have a rectangular one. This could be one of them. So we just did two different examples of writing linear equations in parametric form. So the first one, it was an equation that was given to us. The second thing, we were given 2 points and we wrote the point slope form, and then we changed that to parametric equation. Now let's move on to a different type of parametric equations. And now we're going to be parametrizing quadratics. So let's start with example number 1. What if I'm given y equals x plus 1 squared? So let's say let t equals x plus 1. Then y is equal to t squared. So basically you just plug in t for x plus 1. Now remember, you need to write it as x equals and y equals. So x in the first equation is t minus 1. So the first equation is t minus 1 and the other one's going to be t squared. So that's going to be my parametric equation. Now let's take another example. What if I have something like this? Now the first thing you want to do is try to complete the square. So you would write this as a perfect square. Then after you do that, you can do what we just did in example 1. So let's do that. So for me to write a perfect square on the right side, I need to divide by 2 and then square it. So that would give me plus 4 on each side. So then my equation becomes y plus 4 is equal to x plus 2 squared. So I just completed the square to change this into a perfect square. Now there you go. I can say let t equals x plus 2, and that would give me y equals, so you need to subtract 4. That would give me t squared minus 4. So solve for x in the first equation. So then my parametric equation for this rectangular equation would be x equals t minus 2 and y equals t squared minus 4. So I just wrote the parametric equation of a quadratic rectangular equation. Now let's write the parametric equation of a circle. Now before we do that, I need to explain a couple of things for you, give you the idea of where the equation came from, and then you can simply apply it. So let's start with a circle. So any point given on the circumference of this circle, let's say that I have, so let's drop a height and create a triangle like we usually do. So in this case, this represents the r, which is the radius. As you can see, it's not drawn to scale. This will represent the x of the x coordinate of the point, and the height will represent the y coordinate of the point. So in this case, cosine, so let's use t since this is what we're going to be using. So I'm going to put t over here. So cosine of t is adjacent over hypotenuse, and the sine of t is equal to opposite over hypotenuse. So from here I can see that x is equal to r, which is the radius, times cosine t, and y is equal to r, which is the radius, sine of t. So keep that in mind as you are writing parametric equations for circles. Okay? So let's say I'm given this equation. X squared plus y squared is equal to 16. Now, as you can see, there's no shift. The center is still at 0, 0. So I can simply say that x is equal to r, which is in this case 4 cosine t, and y is 4 sine t. So you don't have to go over this every single time. So once you understand it, you can apply it right away. Now let's take another example. What if I have a center? Let's say that they gave me this description. So we have center 2, 3, and then the radius is 3. So let's start by writing the equation. So x minus 2 squared plus y minus 3 squared is equal to 9. Now remember, we did say that x is equal to r cosine t and y is equal to r sine t. Now r in this case is 3, so x can be written as 3 cosine t, and y can be written as 3 sine t. So this is if the center is 0, 0, but x is not x anymore, it is x minus 2. So I can replace x by x minus 2, and then I need to solve for x. So x is equal to 3 cosine t plus 2. And I can replace y by y minus 3 because it's shifted up 3. So then that's going to be equal to 3 sine t. So y is 3 sine t plus 3. So this is my parametric equation. Now let's take a closer look at this. This is the radius, and that's the x value of the center. So when I'm given a description like that, can I simply say that x is equal to the r cosine t plus the x coordinate of the center, and y is equal to r sine t plus the y coordinate of the center, instead of doing this every single time? Absolutely. So let's take an example. Let's say that they gave me that the center is at 1, negative 2, and the radius is 5. So I can simply say that the parametric equation is x equals 5 cosine t plus 1, and the y is equal to 5 sine t minus 2. Because in comparison, this is shifted to the right 1, and this is shifted down 2, and that's how the parametric equation is affected. So you can immediately write the equation after you understand this. So remember, where did the x equal r cosine t come from? We took a point on the circumference of the circle, we dropped a height and created this right triangle. Using SOHCAHTOA, sine of t is opposite over hypotenuse, and cosine t is adjacent over hypotenuse. After understanding this, now I can simply write the equation of a circle from such a description. Now let's write the parametric equation of an ellipse. So let's say I'm given this equation, and you see how the center in this case is 0, 0. So let's keep it simple like that so we can come up with a rule for parametric equations of ellipses. Okay, so let's see what we can do. Do you remember, does this look like a trigonometric equation that we have learned earlier? Does this remind you of cosine squared plus sine squared of t, let's say, equals 1? And I'm using t since this is the parametric or the parameter we're using for parametric equations. It could be theta, it could be anything. So cosine squared plus sine squared equals 1. So this could be my cosine squared, this could be my sine squared, and that's the 1. So let's set them equal to each other and see and solve for x. So x squared over 4 is equal to cosine squared t. And y squared over 16 is equal to sine squared t. Okay, so let's solve for x. So x squared is equal to 4 cosine squared t. And x is equal to the square root of that, so 2 cosine t. And y squared is equal to 16 sine squared t. And y is equal to the radical square root of that, so 4 sine t. Now let's see what this is. Isn't this a? And isn't this b? So can we come up with a conclusion that x is equal to a cosine of t and y is equal to b sine t? And this is if the center is at 0, 0. Now what if the center is at, let's say, if this is x plus 1? So that's basically shifted left 1, so I can simply subtract 1 from here. And if this is, let's say, plus 2, that means it went down 2, so I can subtract 2 from here. So let's write an example, and let's use what we just learned to write down the parametric equation of the ellipse right away. So let's say I have x minus 5 squared over 9 and y plus 2 squared over 81 equals 1. Now I don't have to do everything I've done earlier because now I know the rule. So remember, the center is 5, negative 2. And the a value is 3 and the b value is 9. So then, if I want to write down the parametric equation, x is equal to a cosine t plus 5, which is the x value of the center, and the y is equal the b value sine t plus the y value of the center, which is negative 2. So see how this is shifted to the right 5, so we add 5, and down 2, so we subtract 2. And that's the parametric equation of the ellipse. Now let's learn how to write the parametric equation of a hyperbola. So let's start with this simple hyperbolic equation where the center is at 0, 0. So let's say we have a horizontal hyperbola, so x squared over a squared minus y squared over b squared is equal to 1. Now this does not look like cosine squared plus sine squared equals 1, so I cannot use that trigonometric equation that we learned. So what else have we learned? Do you remember the equation secant squared x is equal to 1 plus tangent squared x. So then if I subtract tangent squared, I will get secant squared x minus tangent squared x equals 1. And I can compare x squared over a squared to secant squared x. And I can compare y squared over b squared to tangent squared x. There's the minus, and there's the 1. Okay? Now, why didn't I use the cosecant squared and the cotangent squared? Because remember, secant is 1 over cosine, and cosine is associated with the x, and that's why I used this formula and not the cosecant squared x minus cotangent squared x equals 1, because secant is associated with cosine, which is associated with x. So that's why I use this formula. So let's say I'm given this equation. X squared over 16 minus y squared over 9 equals 1. Now I can do the same proof I did earlier. Set this x squared over 16 equals secant squared x, solve for x, and then square root. And I will get that x is equal to 4 secant x. And I can do the same thing for this one. Set y squared over 9 equal to tangent squared, and then solve for y. And I will get that y is equal to 3 tangent x. So can I come up with the rule that x is equal to a secant x and y equals b tangent x for hyperbolas, where I can add the x value of the hyperbola and add the k value of the hyperbola, which is where h is the x value of the center and k is the y value of the center. So then that is going to be my equation, my parametric equation for hyperbolas. So let's take an example. What if I have x minus 3 squared over 81 minus y plus 2 squared over 9 equals 1. So the center is 3, negative 2. The a value is 9, and the b value is 3. So this is an equation of a horizontal hyperbola. So x is equal to a secant t plus 3, which is the x value of the center, and y is equal b tangent t plus the y value of the center, which is minus 2. So that's the equation. Now I hope that this video was helpful. We were able to write parametric equations of linear functions, quadratic functions, circles, ellipses, and hyperbolas.